Your first pee of the day should not be dark yellow. Your kidneys were working hard all night trying to maintain the blood. It's called homeostasis. You're trying to maintain homeostasis, not too much water, not a least amount of water. Now, if there's too much water in the blood, the kidneys can get that out. But if there's not enough water in the blood, the kidneys can't do nothing about that all night long. So now you sitting here, you don't understand about urine because you don't drink no water. Hold on, family. Hold on, family. Let me drink to that. The reason you don't understand the value of your urine because you don't drink no water. That stuff you urinating out, the stuff that's getting in your bloodstream, that's the byproduct of Pepsi. That's the byproduct of Kool-Aid. That's the byproduct of a heavy oil saturated diet. That's the byproduct of a heavy meat diet. That's a byproduct of a very light vegetable diet. Moving forward. So now your urine is plasma. So you say, Crumb, I don't even know what plasma is for you to even be talking about that type of stuff. Well, let's look it up, family. What is plasma? So now, when I type in plasma, let me get my ego out of the situation. Let me get my ego out the situation. When we look up plasma, you're going to see at the very top. Let me focus your eyes on this part right here. So when I typed in plasma, Google said, Crumb, are you talking about liquid? Are you talking about matter? Are you talking about blue? Are you talking about science? Are you talking about sun? Are you talking about biology? Are you talking about water? Are you talking about lightning? Are you talking about fire? Family, when we dealing with plasma, talking about energy, gas, electric, fusion. So when we're dealing with plasma, there are three states of matter. There are three states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. However, there is a fourth state of matter that they don't tell you about. What did the ancestors say? The ancestors said, you're not going to be able to learn about ether until you turn 7 times 7. When we live and grow, we're at 49 people watching. When we live and grow to these 49 ears and eyes and mouths, well, 2 just left, but whatever. You live your life based on your 7 chakras. You go through your 7 chakras every 7 years. Why, when you're 14 years old, you're considered, well, no. When you're 1 year old, you're in your root chakra. Not saying your sexual energy. I'm saying your ego, your need to survive. It's all about you. Your root chakra is your survival chakra. That's why the root part of your brain, which is the reptilian part, is responsible for survival. When you're dealing with the bottom, you're dealing with the most animalistic part of you. So now your root chakra is dealing with survival. When you're 1 year old, you're dealing with your root chakra. When you're 2, you're dealing with your second chakra. All the way up to when you're 7, you're dealing with your 7th chakra, which is your crown chakra. 7 is the age of imagination. 7 is the age of imagination. You know, also, let me go back. When you get to that second chakra, you're still very close to your root chakra. You're in your terrible 2s. Oh, he's in his terrible 2s. She's in her terrible 2s. Because you're still close to that root chakra. But by the time you turn 7, you're in your 7th chakra, which is your crown chakra, which is 7 is the age of imagination. So now when you get to age 14, you're back in your root chakra. I'm sorry, excuse me. You're back in your crown chakra is when you're starting to understand the world a little bit differently. But if you go back to age 13 is when you get to your, age 7, age 8. 8 is when you get back to your root chakra. 8 is root chakra. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Age 15, you're back in your root chakra. You're a horny devil by the time you get to age 15. By the time you get to age 15, you're back in your root chakra. You start getting horny. Some of you perverts, because you live in an over-sexualized society, you got horny way before the age of 15. Me as well. I was scared of girls at 15. Let's just put that out there. But anyway, you know, I can attest to that moving forward. So now, you're you have your seventh seven. When you get to age 49, you get through 7 cycles of your chakras at age 49. Now, when you get to age 49, you're a junior elder. When you get to age 49, you're a junior elder, and you can finally learn about ether. According to the ancestors, you cannot learn about ether until you got to the age 49. Now, that's dealing with occult science. That's dealing with occult science. Pentagram elements. When we're dealing with occult science, you're going to deal with the elements. Let me get my ego out. You're going to be dealing with the elements. You're going to be dealing with spirit, air, water, earth, and fire. However, when we're dealing with spirit, let's look at another one. You're going to see where they replace spirit with ether. You're going to see others where they replace the word spirit with the word ether or the word chi, so on and so forth. Let me just find one really quickly to make my point, and then I will move on as hastily as possible. So, I'm looking for another. There we go. There we go. Here's one where it doesn't say spirit. It says ether. Air, earth, fire, water, ether. You don't learn about ether until you turn age 49. So when the children are in school, they're going to learn about the 3 states of matter. They're going to learn about the 3 states of matter, but they're not going to learn about plasma until they get to a higher level of education, because those things don't come at that level. So now urine is plasma. So when I typed in plasma, look right here. Solid, liquid, gas, the 3 states of matter. The 4th state of matter is plasma. Plasma is also known as ether. So now when we're dealing with plasma, if we go to the other side, you're also going to see biology, because your blood has plasma in it. You're also going to see lightning. Lightning is a form of plasma. So when you think of lightning, you say, oh, crumb, I didn't know lightning was plasma. It is electrified water. Electrified water. So how is the blood in your body becoming electrified to make your urine such a valuable thing that you could go off and do something like time travel? That's what I want to know, Crumb. That's what I'm tuned in because I want to know how you're going to use urine to time travel. All right, family, I'll tell you how. You just got to follow me just a little bit longer. Just a little bit, family, because for me to break this down, I got to give it to you like you never heard it before, because when you went to public school, they never even told you about plasma, ether, spirit, or anything of that nature. They just kept your ass in the box. Solid, liquid, gas. All right, send him on to high school. He's good from here. That's all he needs to know. Until he turned age 49, he will not get this lesson, because that's when you get into the occult. Moving on. So now we have plasma. So now I said plasma is a form of electrified water. Plasma in blood is water. You should be urinating out water, family. Plasma is the liquid component of blood, in which red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets are suspended. It constitutes more than half of the blood's volume and consists mostly of water. Okay? Now, of course, the water is going to contain electrolytes, proteins, and plasma has other functions as well. But when we're dealing with the plasma in your blood is made mostly of water. So when you're urinating out your blood, the part of the blood that you're urinating out is the water. The only thing you should be urinating out is water. I'm gonna drink to that, family. Shout out to everybody who guzzling Pepsi, Gatorade, drinking everything under the sun. Beer, malt liquor, any of those spirits. Shout out to that family who drinking all of that. They be like, Crumb, so you telling me you drink your urine? It's crazy. It's not crazy to drink liquor, Crumb. It's not crazy to drink liquor, but it's crazy to drink urine. Crumb, it's crazy to drink urine. It's not crazy to crazy to drink your urine. Crumb, it's not crazy to drink Red Bull. Why do they call it Red Bull? Go look on the back of the can. It says taurine. Red Bull has taurine as an ingredient in it, family. When you're dealing with taurine, you're dealing with Taurus. When you're dealing with taurine, you're dealing with Taurus. Why is taurine in Red Bull? And Red Bull was the first energy drink after Mountain Dew? Because taurine is bull sperm. Crumb, it's crazy to drink urine, but it's not crazy to drink these energy drinks that has these chemicals in it that you can't understand what they are unless you take a chemistry class. Crumb, in order for me to understand what's in my Red Bull, I have to take a chemistry class. Because when I look on the back of the can, I can't make heads or tails of what's in it. So even though I'm going to try to debate Crumb and say that bull sperm is not in it, I honestly don't know what taurine is, Crumb. I have honestly never looked on the back of anything and just broke down all the ingredients, Crumb, because I just don't have that type of time in my life. But I do have the time to debate you, Crumb. I do have the time to judge you, Crumb. You're wrong, even though clearly you have an educated stance, and I'm right, even though clearly I refuse to do any research. And that's why I think drinking urine is nasty, but drinking Pepsi, Mountain Dew, cum, Red Bull, Gatorade, none of that is nasty, Crumb. Moving forward, I want to hear some more, Crumb. I want to hear some more, Crumb. The water inside your body being electrified because of your heart chakra, family. Your heart chakra. The heart is the most electrical part of the body. Don't let these people in these schools lie to you. They're going to tell you the most electrical part of your body is your brain because your brain is having synapses. Your brain is having synapses. That's why it's the most electrical part of your body, Crumb. I went to school. I know what neurons are, Crumb. And your brain, especially when you're thinking, those neurons are synapsing. Crumb, don't you realize that's electricity, Crumb? The brain is the most electric. No, family, the brain is not the most electrical part of the body. There is electrical activity occurring in the brain. That's a true statement. That's a true statement, family. There is an electrical activity occurring in the brain, but it has no you can't compare it to how electrical the heart is. You can't compare it to how electrical the heart is. The heart has an SA node. Oh man, that's a PNG. Anyway, the heart has an SA node where all its electricity is coming from. That's heart chakra energy that you're looking at, family. That's the SA node is producing heart chakra energy. So now when you look at a person's electromagnetic field, when you're looking at a human's electromagnetic field, you're going to see that your electromagnetic field is being generated from your heart, aka your heart chakra. Your heart chakra is producing some serious energy that's creating an electromagnetic field around your body. Family, I didn't even type in heart. All I typed in was electromagnetic field. Our thoughts and emotions affect our heart's electromagnetic field, which energetically affects those in our environment, whether or not we are conscious of it. So now your electromagnetic field is affecting other people's. The way your heart is set up, family, that's will determine a lot, family. The way your heart is set up will determine a lot. Heart on scales of Ma'at. Ma'at is going to put your heart, because your heart is generating the most electric. Family, when a person supposedly they think they're dead, they're going to get a defibrillator. They're going to get a defibrillator. They're going to rub it together. Clear! And hit your chest. And you be, on the ground, dead as a doorknob like this. Because your heart is the most electrical part of your body, not your brain. They're not going to put that defibrillator, clear, on the side of your ears. They're not going to put it on the side of your ears. They're going to put it on the sides of your chest cavity, because the heart is the most electrical part of the body. And you, my friend, all these pills you're popping, are more electrical than you are chemical. However, the doctor is going to give you these chemical solutions to an electrical problem. But when you die, those pills aren't even going to be a idea anymore. They're going to put their electricity back in your body, because when we're dealing with who you are, at the heart of you, you are a heart chakra. At the heart of you, you are a heart chakra. That's what guides you. That's the most important part of you. Is that heart chakra. When y'all be playing basketball, y'all be in a fourth quarter and in the ninth inning or wherever you at, and your coach pull you to the side and says, "Boy, to win this game, you gotta have to put your heart in it. If you want to win this, you gotta put your heart in this game." What do they mean, put your heart in it, family? What do they mean? We dealing with your heart chakra. If you want to make magic, if you want to bring something into fruition, you put your heart into it. So now Ma'at is going to measure your heart and see where your heart is at. So now when we're dealing with the most electrical part of your body, plasma is running through your heart, family. Plasma is running through your heart. And when the plasma runs through your heart, because it is so electrical, I'm going to electromagnetic field. Because the heart is so electrical, it's going to electrocute the water inside your body, which is the plasma. Once the water gets electrocuted, it becomes plasma. Family, as it is above, it is below. Remember? As it is above, it is below. Remember? I hope y'all don't be saying that to sound cute. I hope y'all be saying that because it's right and exact. Now, I don't want to get and engage the family in a debate on if the world is flat or globe. That's not the point of this picture. The point of this picture is to let you know, regardless of the shape of the earth, the body is giving off an aura, an electrical signal, the same way the earth is. The same way the earth is giving off an electrical impulse, which is called a Van Allen belt. Some people call it the earth's dome. Just like the earth got a dome, family, you have a dome. The earth has an electrical dome around it called a torus tube. The earth has an electrical dome around it called the torus tube. And this is the same T-A-U. I spelled tube wrong. Torus tube. Let me type in Earth torus tube. Earth torus tube. So it's not showing it. But this is what a torus tube look like. That's an example of a torus tube. That's kind of thin. The Earth torus tube is so big that this torus tube, and well, I'm not even going there. This torus tube covers almost all of the Earth. This is a fat torus tube. The Earth's torus tube engulfs almost all of the Earth. So now the human body has this exact same torus tube. I'm going to type in human, and your torus tube is being generated by your heart. There's your torus tube. Now, the very top of this torus tube is called a halo. The very top of the torus tube is called a halo because this electrical energy represents your divinity. Why does Ma'at put your heart on the Libra scales of justice? We talked about the torus tube. Let's talk about the Libra scales of justice. Why does Ma'at put your heart on the Libra scales of justice? Because this represents your divinity. She wants to see where your divinity at. At the very top of your torus tube is a halo, and this halo right here represents what you see in the biblical accounts of astrology. Keep in mind, Jesus is the Pisces. After Jesus is the Aquarian he told you about. Before Jesus, you have Noah, who is the Taurus. You have Adam and Eve, which are the Gemini, and you have Moses, who is the Aries. Now, the Bible only accounts for 6,000 years, so they don't go through the whole zodiac. But of the people that they tell you about, this is the zodiac. That's why you're going to see this halo in astrology, as well as when we're dealing with zodiac, as well as when we're dealing with science, because it's all occult science. So now, what does this have to do with urine? So now you have your aura, human electromagnetic field, human energy field. That's what I typed in. So now when you look at the human's energy field, you're going to see the human's energy field is being generated. Here's a picture, family. The human's energy field is being generated by the human's heart. Blood and water goes into your mouth, and it goes directly into your bloodstream. When the water goes in directly to your bloodstream, your blood is going to flow through your heart. Your heart is, because it is so electrical, this water that is in your heart, this water that is in your, dag, I did not mean to hit that button. This water that is going through your heart is going to be, electrified by the SA node in medical terminology, or in occult science, we call it the heart chakra. When your water goes through your heart chakra, the water is then torus tube. My apologies for my misspelling. Excuse me. It's a torus tube. Now, this torus tube, you have two of them. The Earth has two domes, just like your human body has two domes. It's called the Van Allen belt. There are two belts or two domes that the Earth has, not one. The Earth has two energy fields, not one. So now this heart is so electrical, it's going to electrocute the water inside that you drink, and it's going to turn it into plasma. Why is this important, family? And what does it have to do with time travel? Because you're going to have plasma centers. Plasma centers. This is a place where you can get money. And you can donate don't act brand new like you ain't never donated. Some of the family don't understand unless you put it in hood terms. Unless you get hood with them, they try to play stupid and act sedity. Family, where are all the plasma centers at? They're in the hood. Where are all the plasma centers at? They're in the hood. They're in the hood, family. They are collecting our plasma in the hood. Their heart chakra is not strong enough to create the type of plasma needed to time travel. I'm not going to say that. The 1%, the Tamahu, I can say Tamahu. I got to start speaking in code, family, because they're shutting me down. If I don't speak in code, they're going to shut me down. Every time I speak blatantly, they shut me down. So from now on, I'm speaking in code. The Tamahu does not have a heart chakra that is strong enough to create the plasma required for time travel. So that's why they put all the plasma centers where they collect your plasma in the hood. Plasma center. All the plasma center. Now, this is the thing. When you go and donate blood, you go to a blood bank. I need you to follow me, family. Why do you go to a blood bank, but they don't give you money for blood? Get it? Do you get it? It's called a blood bank. They're trying to make you believe there's value. A blood, anything kept in a bank is valuable, but they don't give you money for it. Stay woke, family. Stay woke. They're trying to make you think blood is valuable, but if you donate blood, you don't get no money for that. However, they don't call it a plasma bank. Why don't they call it a plasma bank? Because they don't want you to understand the value associated with your urine. However, when you go to that plasma center, you get money. You get money for donating plasma. And the plasma centers are all up in the hood. Press 1 if there's a plasma center in a hood near you. Press, because this is this part of the research you can't find on Google. You can't find on Google, hey Google, do black people think plasma centers are mostly in the hood? Google can't answer that question. Only you can answer that question. Press 1 if you've noticed a plasma center in your hood. You're like, damn. They do have plasma centers in my hood. But if you go to Beverly Hills, there's no plasma centers out there. There's no plasma centers. There's no hard liquor. You go to 7-Eleven. In my hood, we drink 211. In my hood, we drink. If you know what 211 is, you might not know what 211 is, so never mind. We drink 211, which is malt liquor. You go to the 7-Eleven in Hollywood, they don't got 211 in that 7-Eleven. How come 7-Eleven don't put 211 Steel Reserve? It's called Steel Reserve. How come 7-Eleven don't put Steel Reserve in their stores in Hollywood, but 7-Eleven will put Steel Reserve in the hood in your neighborhood? They'll put plasma centers in your neighborhood, but they won't put plasma because, family, your plasma is more valuable than their plasma. Your urine is more valuable than their urine. Hold on, family. Hold on, family. Oh, you can still see my shoulder? Surprise! Surprise! Hold on, somebody made me this. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but somebody made this for me, and they put surprise on it. They put sorry, and they put surprise. Surprise! I'm trying something new, family. I'm trying to sing it. Surprise! So now, the plasma center is in your hood. The plasma center is not called a bank, but you get money. The blood bank is called a bank, but you don't get no money. In the blood bank, they tell you what your blood is for. Please donate blood. You can save lives. We need the blood for blood transfusions. They never told you what they need the plasma for. These people at the plasma centers remind me of a dope fiend. Mama, I need some money. I need some money, mama. For what, Johnny? For what, Jerome? I just need some money, mama. We need some plasma. We need some plasma, Crumb. They'll tell you why they need the blood, but they won't tell you why they need the plasma. They won't pay you for the blood, but they will pay you for the plasma. And the plasma centers are all up in the hood, family. I need you to put your Black Power glasses on, family. Stay woke. See through the crap. I need you to see through the crap. You got to put your Black Power hat on Put your stay woke hat on, whatever it is. You know, hey, Crumb, I'm not black, I'm indigenous. Put your stay woke hat on. I need y'all. I need the family to wake up and look at, and pay attention to what's going on around you. So now, moving forward, share a screen. Ain't no plasma centers in the white in the well-off neighborhoods, but they're in your center, but they're in your neighborhoods. Now, before we even go into it, let's see what plasma looks like. Plasma donation. Let's see what plasma looks like. Let's see what plasma, because they not taking the plasma from your dirty vagina. They not taking the plasma from your dirty vagina. They taking plasma straight from the vein. They taking plasma straight from the vein. Family, press 1 if plasma looks like urine. Family, press 1 if plasma looks like urine. Okay? Somebody out there in YouTube world from your dirty genitals, they taking that straight from the vein. And it still look like urine. Straight from the vein. Okay? It looks like the family is in the building, and it looks like the family is following me. Straight from the vein, family. That's urine. Straight from the vein. Surprise! Now, family, we about to get into the meat and potatoes, and you about to find out why they collecting your plasma and how they going to use that. Well, we already know why. They collecting your plasma for time travel. Now, here's the question that you want to ask yourself. How is plasma going to help us time travel? How is plasma going to help us time travel, Crumb? Now, let's get into it. So now that we understand what urine is and how they understand urine is special, not Crumb. Now we understand what urine is and how they're collecting it, how it is valuable and how it is special, and it is urine and it is a part of the blood, the same thing that you pee in the toilet that y'all swear out. Remember when I made that video, why I drink my urine, and y'all swore out I was so nasty? Now can you understand that, at least that piece? We're not talking about drinking urine today, folks. However, I just want to remind y'all, when I made that video, why I drunk my urine, and you people who suck, you girls or even guys who will suck a man's genitals and swallow, told me I was nasty. You girls and guys who sit here and drink liquor and drink beer and malt liquor and Steel Reserve and Kool-Aid with a bunch of sugar in it, and the people who make Pepsi don't even drink Pepsi. Okay? So when the family told me I was nasty, just think about that. The people who make Pepsi don't even drink Pepsi. So now, moving forward, when we got, let me share my screen again. Yeah, what did I do wrong? There we go. So now we got plasma. And we know that they're collecting our plasma. So where are they sending the plasma to? They're sending the plasma to CERN. Crumb, I don't know what CERN is. Well, before I break down what CERN is, I want to show you CERN's logo. A lot of people will tell you that there is a 666 inside of CERN's logo. Now, we as the melanated community, we know our value. We know when we see the 666, we know 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, 6 protons. Crumb, we are no longer a spookified people. We do not believe in a boogeyman under the bed or a devil in the closet. We understand the science to all things. So now when you say this is the mark of the beast, we understand that they are talking about melanin in its current form of carbon 6, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, 6 protons. We are the carbonated beings. So we're not scared, but we know that they don't have melanin. They don't have the 666. Family, when we're talking about plasma, a plasma is going to open a stargate. A plasma is going to open a stargate. CERN is where they smash atoms together. Some people call it a hold on, let me go to images. Oh, that's video. Sorry, family. Let me go to images again. The first result is Hadron Collider. CERN is where they have the Hadron Collider. It is this big thing that looks like the same thing that you're going to see in Stargate Stargate 1 Atlantis. If you go and watch the TV show Stargate, because this is called, hold on, family. This is called preemptive programming. They've got to show you these things on TV before they bring it into real life so that you're just that much more comfortable with it. It's not a shock so much as if it would have been had you not heard anything about it before. So now when they show it to you through entertainment, through sci-fi, science fiction, family, ain't no form of fiction when you dealing with science. Ain't nothing fiction when you dealing with science. There is no part of science that is fiction. It's an oxymoron. It's like happy, sad. Science fiction. It's a way to kind of mess your brain up so that you don't understand they're preparing the masses. Thank you. They're using science fiction to prepare the masses for something. So they're using a hadron collider, which looks exactly like the Stargate Atlantis. They have a Stargate. Now, why do they call it a Stargate? Hold on, I'm sorry. That's my fault. If you look behind them, this is a poor picture. My apologies. This is a poor picture. My apologies. But if you look at a bigger picture, because the one I got is a little crap. Wrong button. I'm about to skip it because, well, in this one, there you can see in this one. Here's a good one because I was about to give up. Here's a good one where you can see liquid. There's a liquid behind them. That's plasma. That's plasma in the Stargate. Now, remember when I typed in plasma and I showed you the word sun? I typed in plasma and the word sun. The sun is made out of plasma. The sun is a star. The sun is a stargate. The sun is a stargate. You'd be like, Crumb, I don't understand what you're trying to say to me. Family, what is your zodiac sign? What stargate did you come out of? What is, family, please, seriously, right now, type in your zodiac sign. Type it in. Tell me, what stargate did your soul come from out of? Well, I know that's a typo, but the family comes from the Leo Stargate. When we're dealing with a constellation, the family came, this is a person who knows they have a soul. They know that their body is a physical body made up from dust of the earth. However, they also know that they have a soul, and their soul came from the Libra Stargate. Their soul came from the Scorpio Stargate, the Cancer Stargate, the Aries. These are, a constellation is a group of stars. The sun is a star. Stars are made, the sun is made of plasma. Stars are made of plasma. So now when I tell you, you come out of a Stargate, like the Capricorn Stargate, people don't have a soul. They're archaeologists. Their archaeologists have been digging all over the world, and they haven't found a soul. Their doctors have been doing autopsies on the body for years upon years upon years, and they still have not found a soul. You can't go to school. You go to school, you can study science, math, social studies, cooking, but you can't study anything that has anything to do with your spirit. You can't go and study any science associated with the Virgo, because they will tell you the Tamahu will tell you that you don't have a soul because he doesn't have a soul. So he can't travel through a stargate. Family, you can leave the earth. You can leave the earth. Right now, we are in the 9th galaxy. We are in the 18th galaxy, and we can leave. 18th galaxy. We can leave here, family. Did you know that? Your soul can go to the 18th galaxy. The place we live right now, they call it the Milky Way. The Milky Way. They call that the 18th galaxy. We can leave the 18th galaxy. We can astral project. Our soul can go through the Stargate to another galaxy. Why is the number 9 so significant, family? Why is the number 9 so significant in this galaxy? Here, I'm typing something up. 1 plus 8 equals 9. There you go, family. We're in the 18th galaxy. Why is the number 9 so significant in this galaxy? We're in the 18th galaxy. 1 plus 8 equals 9. We are in the 18th galaxy. If you wanted to, family, you could soul travel to the 9th galaxy, or to the 27th galaxy, or to the 36th galaxy, and it would be similar to this one, because all of these galaxies are built off the number 9. Sis, can you tell them when you are built? Hold on. When these things are built off this sequence, it's called the Fibonacci sequence. Everything is built off this sequence. I spelled Fibonacci wrong, but you get the idea. Everything is built off this sequence of 9, because we're in the 18th galaxy. However, some people can't leave this galaxy, family. Some people don't have a free soul that can leave this galaxy. So this is a prison planet for them. This is a prison planet. Remember when what was that boy's name? Lucifer. When Lucifer was cast out of heaven, where did they send him? They sent him to a dark water world prison. For some people who are devils, this is a prison planet because they can never leave. Y'all be like, man, I can't wait till I go in transition. I'm going to another galaxy, man. I'm not coming back to the 3rd dimension. I'm not coming back here to the 9th. I'm not going to no galaxy that's built off the number 9 in the Fibonacci sequence, because when we're dealing with these prison planets, some people can come and experience this prison planet, and some people are stuck here. And the ones that are stuck here are, the ones that are stuck here, we call those reptilian. If you are stuck in the prison planet, we call you a reptilian, we call you Satan, we call you a Lucifer, and you don't care about the prison. You'll burn the rainforest, you'll poison the water, you'll pollute the air, because this is a prison planet for you. You have no soul. So the only way you can leave a prison planet, you'd be like, damn, this is a prison planet. I know it's a prison planet. I can't leave this planet. So what am I going to do? I'm going to create something. Hold on. I'm going to create something called CERN. I'm going to create. Now, we are the gods. I'm sorry, I hit bracket. That's a bracket in there. I did not mean to do that. We are the gods. We urinate gold. We are the gods. We come to this planet and everything about us is divine. Everything about us is divine. Our urine, even our urine is divine. But they are not the gods. The Tamahu, his urine is not divine. His plasma cannot keep a wormhole open. He can't soul travel. So he's going to try to do it in the physical with a stargate. Your star, oh Crumb, my stargate is called Capricorn. You know the name of your stargate. Why? How come when you go to that school, they don't teach you about stargates? Because they can't name their stargate because they don't have a stargate. You know your stargate. They don't talk about stargates because they don't have stargates. They can't go through a stargate. They don't believe in stargates. But you don't need a fake unnatural stargate because you have a natural one. They're going to take your urine. They're going to take your urine and build and hold. Okay, so this is an atom smasher, family. What you're looking at is a hadron collider, also known as an atom smasher. They only run it 2 times a year because when you smash atoms, you're going to rip a hole into time, and the urine or the plasma is going to be used to hold that hole open. Because the atom is very small. So the hole into time that the atom is going to rip is going to be very small. So they're going to need lots and lots of plasma to hold this hole open to keep their plasma stargate open. So we moving forward. They will tell you that the Tamahu does not have a soul. So because the Tamahu does not have a soul, he's going to find a different way to time travel. Now, thank you, Tammy. I just received your pledge of support. Thank you to my sister, Tammy. I have received your pledge of support. And, you know, oftentimes, family, believe it or not, I have more men following me than women. However, I get more support from the women than I do from the men. No love lost, not saying anything. I'm sorry. No love lost, not saying anything negative about that.
No love lost, not saying anything. I'm
sorry, I didn't mean to do that. No love lost, not saying anything about that. But I do have a lot of support from the sisters, and I want to acknowledge that. With that said, I just want to check a quick look at the comments. All right, now that the comments are taken care of, they have no soul. So they're ripping a hole into time. So now they just ripped their first hole in the time, family. This isn't even like something old. They just ripped their first hole in the time. When they ripped their first hole in the time, they found a particle called the boson particle. For the family that does not know what the boson particle is, they're calling it the God particle. They at the CERN facility, they ripped a hole in the time and they just discovered antimatter. They ripped a hole into time and they just discovered antimatter, and this is where God exists at, supposedly. They're calling it the Higgs boson. They're calling it the Higgs boson, where they are now able to travel through time with this new discovery. Why was that important? Crumb, I don't know why that was important. They used that to travel through time. Now that they ripped the hole into time and they found that Higgs boson, aka God particle, now they're going to stuff plasma into that hole to keep it open. And now when they go back into time, now that they have the opportunity to go through time, if you change time, Mandela. If you go back and change time, you could have an effect to where there's no such thing as this or no such thing as that because you've altered the current day reality. So now that they found the Higgs boson and they smashed these particles and opened up a space in space and traveled through that plasma wormhole, because keep in mind, they went back in time and they changed little things so that it wouldn't have an effect that would change time as we know it. That's why they only changed little things. So now what we're going to see is in the game Monopoly, the icon for Monopoly was based off robber baron J.P. Morgan. I don't know if the family knew that or not, but this picture of the Monopoly game is based off a guy by the name of J.P. Morgan. He was the first person to have a monopoly in America. And keep in mind, J.P. Morgan was the puppet for the Rothschild family. He was their lapdog. The first monopoly to ever occur in America was after the Great Depression, led by J.P. Morgan, who was the lapdog for the Rothschild family, and he is the one who inspired the game Monopoly. So now they're going to tell us that in the game Monopoly, J.P. Morgan never wore a monocle. You see his monocle? You see that, family? Look at the monocle right there. When I was a kid, family, I remember that monocle. Now they're telling us that monocle was never there. Press 1 if you remember that monocle. Press 1 if you remember that monocle. Remember the Berenstain Bears? Remember the Berenstain Bears? They were called Berenstain because they were Jews, family. The name Berenstain was for because they were Jews. But they're going to tell you it was Berenstain, as in a stain in your clothes, not steen as in Jewish, stain as in stain in your clothes. I remember it being Berenstain Bears. I remember that. So they're going back in time through that heart machine. They're going back and remember it was Looney Tunes, tune being short for cartoon. Oh yeah, Crumb. I used to watch Looney Tunes all the time. Remember, it was tune because it was cartoons. But now they saying it was tune as in a song or a dance. Oh no, Crumb, I don't remember it being tune. I remember it being cartoon. Looney Tunes, loony cartoons. But they went back in time and they changed just small things so that it wouldn't alter anything drastically in the current day life. So now they're using a Stargate. And now when you look up wormhole, if you look up a wormhole is a Stargate. A wormhole. They're creating when they run that Hadron Collider. I'm trying to make this bigger. When they run the they can only run that Hadron Collider twice a year, family. I don't know if you're aware of that. They can only run the Hadron Collider twice a year. Let me try to make this a little bit smaller so you can see a little bit smaller. Come on, Crumb. Come on, Crumb. Get it a little bit smaller, man. There. Oh, that's good enough. So now they're going to run the CERN machine. Now you see this wormhole, and this top of the wormhole represents Galaxy 1. The bottom of the wormhole represents gratitude. Hey, can we do tea tomorrow morning? Yeah, let's do some tea with turmeric, man. Please, if you can consider me. Also, guys, I'm live right now, in just in case you're wondering. So now, they're going to run. So the top part of this is Galaxy 1. The bottom part is Galaxy 2, or in this case, the 18th dimension. In this case, the 27th or the 9th dimension. So now you're going to have a wormhole. When you have a wormhole, just like you have a black hole, a wormhole on one side is called a black hole. A wormhole on the other side is called a white hole. Just like you have a black hole, you have a white hole. The black hole is where you enter through. The white hole is where you exit through. So they're going to shoot a atom in the Hadron Collider. They're going to smash the atoms. The atoms are going to rip a tear into space. When they get that tear into space, they're going to put plasma in that tear to keep that tear open. This is creating a Stargate. A Stargate is another word for a wormhole. That's why when you look at this wormhole, this is the wormhole right here. This is the wormhole right here. This right here, this is a picture of a sun. This is the picture of a sun, a plasmic wormhole. A stargate, a wormhole, is called a plasmic wormhole because we're dealing with plasma when we're dealing with time travel. And we know plasma is urine. So they're collecting, because you're a god, family. You urinate gold and don't even know it. And they got to keep you ignorant. Their power is predicated on your ignorance. Their power is predicated on your ignorance. So now you have these wormholes and they're traveling back in time and changing. Now, this is the thing. They only run the CERN machine once a year. They only, and they're smashing atoms, which is causing seismic disturbance. So now, do y'all remember the Tibetan earthquake? Do y'all remember the Tibetan earthquake? I can't spell quake, apparently. E-A-R-T-H. Do y'all remember the Tibetan earthquake? Do you realize the day they ran the CERN machine was the day the Tibetan earthquake happened? Press 1 if you are aware that the day they ran the CERN machine in Switzerland was the same day Tibet had that earthquake. They can only run it twice a year. They can only run it twice a year. So when they run it every 6 months, what they'll do is go back 5 years. They'll go back 5 years. Why? I don't know. But every 5 years, they'll go back. So then they'll go back 5 years. Only 5 years. They're not going back way back in time. They're only going to go back 5 years. Where are they going to hydrate it if you're...
Ok, assista a próxima parte.